The crystalline spires of New Alexandria glittered in the evening light as Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the holographic message floating above her desk. The soft blue glow illuminated her face, reflecting off eyes that had seen humanity's first contact with an alien civilization just 3 years ago. The Meridians had arrived in peace, their bioluminescent ships appearing like stars falling from the heavens. Ambassador Lyra sends her gratitude. The message read, particles swirling to form Meridian script before translating to English. The quantum resonance technology you shared has revolutionized our medical facilities. Sarah smiled, remembering the day they'd first discovered their species' technologies could work in perfect harmony. The Meridians were everything humanity had hoped to find among the stars: peaceful, advanced, and willing to share their knowledge. Their ability to manipulate biological systems complemented Earth's mastery of quantum mechanics. Together, they were achieving what neither species could alone. But not everyone in the galaxy welcomed such cooperation. The first warning came from the long-range sensors at Europa Station. Massive energy signatures, unlike anything in Earth's database, tore through the fabric of space. The Dominion Empire, a species that had watched from the shadows, had finally revealed itself. Their message was brief: the strong survive, the weak serve. Sarah's holographic display flickered as emergency transmissions flooded in from Meridian colonies. The Dominion's warships, vast crystalline structures that seemed to devour light itself, appeared above peaceful settlements without warning. Their weapons, concentrated beams of dark energy, carved through planetary defenses like paper. This is Colony Horizon. We're under attack. Our shields air. The transmission cut off in a burst of static. Sarah's hands trembled as she opened another and another. Each told the same story: destruction, death, and the methodical elimination of a species whose only crime was choosing peace over power. In the UN Security Council chamber, Fleet Admiral James Chen, Sarah's brother, stood before the assembled leaders of Earth. His uniform was crisp, but his eyes carried the weight of the transmissions they'd all witnessed. The Meridians helped us advance centuries beyond our previous capabilities, he said, his voice steady despite the rage burning in his chest. They trusted us, shared with us, believed in us, and now they're being systematically destroyed because the Dominion sees cooperation as weakness. The chamber was silent. The weight of the decision before them hung heavy in the air. Humanity had avoided major conflicts since the Unification Wars, focusing instead on exploration and advancement. But now, we have a choice, James continued, activating a holographic display of Earth's secret weapon. The Quantum Fleet, ships built using the combined knowledge of human ingenuity and Meridian wisdom. We can hide, hope the Dominion ignores us after they're done with the Meridians, or we can show the galaxy that humanity remembers its promises. The vote was unanimous. In orbital shipyards, hidden within the rings of Saturn, massive vessels stirred to life. The QS Hyperion, Earth's first quantum dreadnought, led a fleet of ships that represented the peak of human military engineering. Their hulls, embedded with Meridian biocrystal matrices, could adapt to enemy fire. Their weapons, powered by quantum singularity cores, could tear through space-time itself. As the fleet prepared for its first strike, Sarah stood on the Hyperion's bridge beside her brother. Through the view screen, they watched the last transmission from the Meridian homeworld. Ambassador Lyra, her bioluminescent features dimmed with sorrow, spoke her final words. We believed in peace. We believed in cooperation. We believed in humanity. Please, remember us. James turned to his crew, his voice carrying across the command deck. The Dominion thinks they understand power. They believe strength comes from domination, from forcing others to submit or die. Today, we teach them what real strength looks like. The Quantum Fleet engaged their drives, reality bending around them as they prepared to jump. Sarah's hand found her brother's, squeezing it like they used to do as children before facing challenges together. The Meridians showed us trust, James said softly. Now we show the galaxy humanity's response to betrayal. The fleet vanished in flashes of quantum fire, leaving the solar system behind. Humanity had evolved beyond its cradle, but it hadn't forgotten the qualities that had allowed it to survive its own violent past: determination, loyalty, and the unstoppable force of righteous fury. The Dominion Empire was about to learn why you should never mistake humanity's preference for peace as a sign of weakness. The galaxy would never be the same. Deep within Titan's atmosphere, hidden beneath swirling clouds of methane, Project Prometheus came to life. Commander Elena Santos walked through the massive assembly bay, her footsteps echoing off walls designed to contain the power of artificial stars. Above her, the QS Titan's quantum core pulsed with barely contained energy, casting shadows that danced like northern lights. "Status report," she called out, approaching the central control hub where Dr. Marcus Wong hunched over holographic displays. The physicist's eyes were rimmed red from sleepless nights, but they burned with fierce determination. "The quantum matrices are stable," Marcus replied, his fingers dancing across the controls. "We've successfully integrated the Meridian biocrystals into the ship's neural network. She's not just a vessel anymore, Elena. She's becoming something new." The Titan was humanity's answer to the Dominion's overwhelming force. While their enemies relied on brute strength and dark energy weapons, Earth had chosen a different path. Each quantum dreadnought was a synthesis of human innovation and Meridian organic technology, capable of adapting and evolving during battle. In the training simulators, Captain Sarah Chen, now head of the Quantum Fleet's tactical division, pushed her crews to their limits. The neural interface systems, derived from Meridian biotechnology, allowed pilots to feel their ships as extensions of their own bodies. It was intimate, demanding, and absolutely necessary for what lay ahead. Again, Sarah commanded as another simulation ended in failure. The young pilots, drenched in sweat, repositioned themselves in their neural cradles. The Dominion expects us to fight like every other species they've conquered, predictably, conventionally. That's not happening. Through the observation window, Admiral James Chen watched his sister work. The pilot's frustration was visible, but so was their progress. Each failure taught them something new, pushing the boundaries of what was possible with their quantum ships. "They're learning," Elena said, joining him at the window. "But will they be ready in time?" James's jaw tightened. "They have to be. Our long-range sensors detected 3 more Meridian colonies going dark yesterday. The Dominion's getting closer to finding the survivors we managed to hide in the Kuiper Belt." In the medical bay, Dr. Sarah Chen worked alongside Meridian refugees, their combined knowledge pushing the boundaries of both species' understanding. The bioneural interfaces they were developing would give human pilots unprecedented control over their ships, while Meridian organic technology would allow the vessels to heal and adapt during combat. "Remember," a Meridian scientist named Vera said, her bioluminescent patterns flickering with emotion, "our technology responds to harmony, to the balance between mind and matter. Your people's quantum innovations provide the power, but it's the synchronization that makes it truly formidable." The next few months were a blur of preparation. The quantum fleet grew ship by ship, each vessel a testament to what humanity and the Meridians could achieve together. The crews trained relentlessly, learning to think in quantum possibilities while their ships learned to anticipate their thoughts. In orbit around Neptune, the QS Hyperion led battle exercises that would have been impossible months ago. Ships phased through quantum space, appearing where they were needed most, their weapons synchronized with precision that bordered on precognition. The Meridian biocrystals pulsed with life, learning and adapting to each pilot's style. But it wasn't just about the technology. Every human involved in Project Prometheus carried the weight of the Meridian transmissions they'd witnessed. The calls for help, the screams cut short, the final messages of a peaceful species facing extinction. That weight turned into resolve, hardening into something the Dominion couldn't possibly understand. On the eve of their first planned strike, Elena stood on the Titan's bridge, watching her crew perform their final checks. The quantum core hummed with power, while biocrystal matrices spread throughout the ship like a living nervous system. They were ready. "All ships report ready, Commander," her XO announced. "The quantum network is synchronized. We're just waiting for the signal." Elena nodded, her hand resting on the neural interface panel. Through it, she could feel the Titan's readiness, its eagerness to prove itself. The ship wasn't just a weapon. It was humanity's promise to their fallen allies, a declaration that peace wasn't weakness and trust wasn't foolish. In his command center, Admiral Chen received the readiness reports from every ship in the fleet. Each vessel represented countless hours of work, sacrifice, and determination. But more than that, they represented humanity's response to witnessing injustice. "The Dominion thinks they know war," he said to the assembled fleet commanders. "They think they understand power. But they've never faced a species that could match their strength while rejecting their cruelty. They've never faced humanity." The quantum cores pulsed in unison, biocrystal matrices glowing with contained power. In their hidden shipyards and secret bases, humanity had forged something unprecedented, a fleet that combined the best of two civilizations, powered by the determination to right a terrible wrong. The silent preparation was over. The time for justice had come. The Dominion's primary shipyard at Nexus 7 was considered impregnable. Massive dark energy barriers surrounded the facility, while automated defense platforms formed a web of devastating firepower. The Dominion's elite warships patrolled the sector, their crystalline hulls absorbing light like cosmic predators. They never saw the first strike coming. Reality itself cracked open as the quantum fleet emerged from fold space. The QS Titan led the charge, its biocrystal hull adapting instantly to the dark energy emissions from enemy weapons. Commander Elena Santos felt the ship's response through her neural link, a mixture of excitement and deadly purpose. "All ships, execute pattern stormbreak." Admiral Chen's voice resonated through the quantum network. "Show them what humanity can do." The battle that followed would be studied for centuries to come. The quantum fleet moved with impossible precision, ships phasing in and out of normal space. Traditional tactics meant nothing against vessels that could appear inside enemy formations, strike with weapons that ignored conventional shields, and vanish before returning fire could land. On the Titan's bridge, Elena guided her ship through the chaos. The neural interface translated the battle into pure information: energy signatures, quantum probabilities, attack vectors. Through it all, she felt the ship's biocrystal matrix learning, evolving, becoming more efficient with each engagement. Multiple Dominion dreadnoughts approaching from Vector 3. Her tactical officer called out, "They're charging their main weapons." Elena smiled grimly. "Show them what we learned from the Meridians." The Titan's quantum core pulsed, and the massive ship seemed to split into multiple versions of itself, a technique derived from Meridian phase-shifting technology. The Dominion's weapons passed harmlessly through the quantum echoes, while the real Titan appeared behind their formation. Fire. The quantum lance, humanity's answer to dark energy weapons, struck with surgical precision. Dominion shields, designed to absorb energy, shattered against weapons that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously. Their mighty dreadnoughts, terror of countless civilizations, crumbled under humanity's rage. Across the battlefield, similar scenes played out. Captain Sarah Chen led a squadron of smaller quantum ships in devastating attack runs. Their enhanced neural interfaces allowed them to coordinate with inhuman precision, striking from impossible angles and vanishing before the enemy could respond. "This is for Horizon Colony," Sarah whispered as her squadron tore through another Dominion battle group. The memory of that first destroyed Meridian settlement fueled her determination. In his command center aboard the Hyperion, Admiral Chen watched the battle unfold. The Dominion's responses were becoming increasingly desperate as they realized their usual tactics were useless. Their attempts to concentrate fire were met with quantum phasing. Their predictive targeting systems failed against ships that could exist in multiple positions simultaneously. "Sir," a communications officer called out, "we're detecting meridian energy signatures from within the shipyard complex. Life signs." James's heart raced. "Survivors. They've been using them as slave labor." His voice hardened as he opened a channel to all ships. "Priority 1 is now rescue operations. Elena, take the Titan and breach their main defenses. Sarah, your squadrons will provide escort for rescue ships." The Dominion commanders, finally realizing the full scope of their situation, began to retreat. Their mighty shipyard, pride of their military-industrial complex, was being systematically dismantled by an enemy they had grievously underestimated. Elena felt the Titan's eagerness as they approached the main shipyard structure. The biocrystal matrix had fully adapted to the Dominion's energy weapons, rendering their attacks almost harmless. "All power to the quantum lance," she commanded. "Let's open a door." The weapon fired, and a section of the shipyard larger than Manhattan simply ceased to exist, transformed into quantum particles that scattered across multiple dimensions. Through the breach, rescue ships surged forward, protected by Sarah's quantum fighters. The sight that greeted the rescue teams would haunt them forever. Thousands of meridians, their natural bioluminescence dimmed by suffering, worked in horrible conditions. But as they saw their rescuers, their light began to pulse with hope. "I am Vora," one of them said, her patterns flickering weakly. "We had almost lost hope. The Dominion told us Earth had been destroyed, that no one was coming for us." Sarah helped her onto a rescue ship, fighting back tears. "We made a promise to your people. We keep our promises." As the rescue operations continued, the Dominion launched one final desperate counterattack. A massive flagship, nearly twice the size of the Titan, emerged from fold space. Its weapons were unlike anything they'd seen before, dark energy streams that threatened to tear reality apart. Elena felt the Titan's concern through their neural link. The biocrystal matrix was having trouble adapting to this new weapon. But then she felt something else. The ship wasn't just adapting, it was evolving. The Meridian technology, pushed to its limits, was creating new solutions. "All power to forward matrices," she commanded. "Let's show them what happens when you combine human determination with Meridian innovation." The Titan charged forward, its hull now reflecting the dark energy attacks back at their source. The Dominion flagship, unprepared for its own weapons, began to break apart under the strain. Its destruction marked the end of the battle. As rescue ships loaded the last of the survivors, Admiral Chen sent a message directly to the Dominion High Command. "This was just the beginning. You tried to destroy a peaceful species that trusted us. Now you face humanity's response. We're coming for all of you." Operation Stormbreak was more than a military victory. It was proof that humanity's way, combining strength with compassion, powered with responsibility, could triumph over brutality. The Meridian survivors would tell stories of how Earth remembered its friends, and how humanity's revenge shook the foundations of an empire built on cruelty. The galaxy was changing, and humanity was leading that change, one quantum battle at a time. The quantum sensors on Europa Station picked up the Dominion fleet first, thousands of warships tearing through fold space, their dark energy signatures bleeding across the void like ink in water. It was the largest armada ever assembled in known space, a force meant to crush humanity once and for all. Admiral James Chen stood on the Hyperion's bridge, watching the tactical display with growing concern. The Dominion had committed everything to this attack. Their entire home fleet, their reserve forces, even experimental vessels never before seen in combat. "They're desperate," Dr. Sarah Chen observed, studying the energy readings. "The biosignatures from their ships are chaotic. They've modified their crews with cybernetic enhancements, pushing them beyond their natural limits." "Desperate people make mistakes," Commander Elena Santos replied from the Titan, her voice carrying through the quantum network. "But they're also the most dangerous. The Dominion strategy became clear as their fleet split into three massive battle groups. The first headed straight for Earth, the second targeted humanity's shipyards around Saturn, and the third moved to cut off any possible retreat. They meant to end this war in one decisive strike. What they didn't know was that humanity had been preparing for exactly this scenario. "Execute Operation Dark Star," Admiral Chen commanded, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "Show them why you never corner a species that evolved as persistence hunters." The response began with something that shocked even the Dominion's enhanced crews. Earth's moon simply vanished, replaced by a massive quantum energy signature that their sensors couldn't penetrate. The lunar surface had been an elaborate camouflage, hiding humanity's true industrial capacity. From the artificial quantum sphere that had once been the moon, hundreds of new ships emerged. Each vessel incorporated lessons learned from previous battles, their biocrystal matrices pre-adapted to Dominion weapons. Captain Sarah Chen led this reserve fleet, her neural link synchronizing thousands of crew members into a single devastating force. "All ships, form up on my position," Sarah commanded. "Remember your training. Remember why we fight." The battle above Saturn unfolded like a deadly dance. Dominion ships, their crews pushed beyond sanity by cybernetic enhancement, fought with desperate fury. But humanity's quantum vessels moved with impossible grace, their Meridian-inspired technology, allowing them to anticipate attacks before they happened. Elena felt the Titan's excitement as they engaged the Dominion's flagship. The enemy vessel was massive, its hull crackling with corrupted dark energy. Through her neural link, she sensed something wrong about it. The energy patterns were unstable, dangerous. "They're pushing their cores beyond safety limits," Marcus warned from engineering. "If those ships explode, the quantum backlash could tear reality apart." The revelation spread quickly through the fleet. The Dominion wasn't just fighting to win. They were willing to destroy everything rather than accept defeat. Their enhanced crews, minds warped by cybernetic overdrive, had lost all sense of self-preservation. "This ends now," Admiral Chen declared, opening a channel to all ships. "Humanity didn't reach the stars by being reckless. We got here by being smart, by understanding that true strength comes from knowing when to hold back." The quantum fleet executed a maneuver that would have been impossible months ago. Every ship synchronized their quantum cores, creating a massive phase space bubble around the Dominion Armada. Inside this bubble, the laws of physics could be selectively enforced. Dr. Sarah Chen, working with rescued Meridian scientists, had developed this technique. It was the ultimate expression of their combined knowledge. Humanity's quantum mastery merged with Meridian organic technology, initiating quantum lockdown. Sarah announced, her hands flying over the controls, reducing their core efficiency to safe levels. Now, the effect was immediate. Dominion ships, suddenly unable to maintain their dangerous power outputs, began to drift. Their cybernetically enhanced crews, cut off from the overwhelming energy that had driven them mad, fell into confusion. Through it all, Elena guided the Titan through the chaos. The ship's biocrystal matrix had evolved far beyond its original design, allowing it to serve as a focal point for the quantum lockdown. She felt the strain through her neural link, but refused to yield. "Your weapons are powered down, your cores are contained, and your crews are no longer being driven insane by your enhancements," Admiral Chen transmitted to the Dominion command. "This is humanity's answer to your brutality. We won't let you destroy yourselves or anyone else." The Dominion flagship, its dark energy weapons reduced to a flicker, made one last attempt to fight. But the Titan was ready. Elena engaged their latest innovation, a quantum mirror field that reflected the enemy's remaining energy back at them with perfect precision. "You tried to break the universe to defeat us," Elena transmitted as the flagship's own power turned against it. "We showed you a better way." As the battle ended, the true scope of humanity's victory became clear. The Dominion fleet was captured largely intact, their crews freed from cybernetic madness. The biggest threat wasn't just defeated, it was transformed. Among the liberated Dominion officers, many began to question the Empire's methods. They had been enhanced against their will, turned into living weapons for a regime that cared nothing for their lives. The seeds of internal rebellion were planted. "This is why we won," Sarah explained to a group of rescued Meridians watching the aftermath. "Not because we were stronger, but because we remembered our humanity even in the darkest moments." As the quantum lockdown field continued to hold the captured fleet, Admiral Chen began preparations for the final phase of the war. The Dominion's leadership would have to answer for their crimes, but first, humanity would show the galaxy a new way forward. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter as the fleet regrouped. Humanity had faced its greatest test and emerged victorious not through overwhelming force, but through innovation, compassion, and the unshakable determination to protect what was right. The Dominion throne world of Axis Prime hung in space like a dark jewel, its atmosphere churning with storms of artificial dark energy. For centuries, it had been the seat of an empire built on conquest and cruelty. Now it faced something it had never encountered before: justice. The quantum fleet emerged from fold space in perfect formation, their biocrystal hulls pulsing with controlled power. At their head, the QS Titan and Hyperion led a force that represented not just humanity's might, but its vision for a better galaxy. Final status report. Admiral James Chen commanded, his voice carrying across the quantum network. "All ships report ready," Elena responded from the Titan's bridge. "Biomatrix adaptation is at peak efficiency. The Meridian upgrades are fully integrated. Rescue ships standing by," Sarah added, her squadron protecting vessels filled with liberated Dominion crews, soldiers who had chosen to stand against their former masters. The Dominion's last defense fleet waited in orbit around Axis Prime. Their ships were powerful, but they lacked the suicidal modifications of their previous armada. Through quantum scans, the human fleet could detect widespread unrest among their crews. "This is Admiral James Chen of Earth." His transmission reached every ship in the system. "Your leaders committed genocide against the Meridians. They turned their own people into cybernetic weapons. Today that ends." The response came from an unexpected source. A Dominion battlecruiser broke formation, its weapons powered down. "This is Commander Vex of the Dominion Navy. We've seen the truth in your actions. You could have destroyed us, but you chose to save us instead." More ships followed, their crews refusing orders to fight. The Dominion's reign of terror was ending not with a massive battle, but with a revolution from within. Through her neural link, Elena felt the Titan's satisfaction. The biocrystal matrix had evolved to understand not just combat, but the deeper patterns of conflict and resolution. "They're laying down their weapons," she announced. "All but the inner defense ring." The final resistance came from the Dominion High Command itself. Dark energy coursed through their fortress ships, a desperate display of the power they were about to lose. "You dare to judge us?" Supreme Commander Kratox's voice boomed across all frequencies. "We built an empire that lasted millennia. We brought order to chaos. You brought suffering to billions," Sarah responded, her voice calm but firm. "And now you face humanity's judgment." The fortress ships attacked with everything they had, dark energy weapons attempting to tear reality apart. But humanity had grown beyond such brute force tactics. The quantum fleet's response was precisely coordinated, their ships moving in patterns that reflected years of learning from Meridian wisdom. The Titan led the final assault, its evolved biomatrix allowing it to phase through the strongest attacks. Elena guided her ship with surgical precision, targeting control systems rather than destructive strikes. "We're not here to destroy," she transmitted. "We're here to rebuild." The battle lasted less than an hour. The Dominion's leadership, faced with weapons they couldn't counter and troops who no longer obeyed them, finally surrendered. As quantum Marines secured the fortress, they found extensive records of the Empire's crimes and evidence of internal resistance that had been brutally suppressed. In the aftermath, something unprecedented began. Representatives from every species affected by the Dominion gathered on Axis Prime. Meridian survivors, their bioluminescence bright with renewed hope, stood alongside reformed Dominion officers. Humans worked with both groups, sharing technology and knowledge. "This is what strength really looks like," Admiral Chen declared at the first meeting of the new Galactic Coalition. "Not domination, but cooperation. Not fear, but trust." The changes spread rapidly. Meridian biotechnology, combined with human quantum science, began healing worlds devastated by dark energy weapons. Former Dominion worlds, freed from cybernetic control, experienced a renaissance of art and culture. On the Titan's observation deck, Alina watched the transformation with Dr. Sarah Chen and Commander Vex. The former Dominion officers' cybernetic scars were healing, thanks to Meridian medical techniques. "I never imagined change could come like this," Vex admitted. "We were taught that power came from causing fear. You showed us it comes from inspiring hope." Sarah smiled, watching a group of Meridian ships teaching their biocrystal harmonics to human and Dominion students. "That's humanity's real strength. We remember our past, learn from our present, and always work toward a better future." The quantum fleet remained vigilant, but its role had changed. Instead of weapons of war, the ships became symbols of cooperation. Their biocrystal matrices continued to evolve, developing new ways to help and heal. A year after the final battle, a new structure rose above Axis Prime. Built with quantum engineering and Meridian organic architecture, it housed the Galactic Coalition, a union of species committed to progress through peaceful cooperation. In the heart of the building, a memorial wall displayed images from the conflict, but it didn't focus on battles won or enemies defeated. Instead, it showed moments of courage and compassion. Humans risking everything to save Meridian refugees, reformed Dominion crews helping to rebuild worlds they once attacked, species working together to forge something new. As Elena traced the Titan's neural link one last time, she felt the ship's contentment. They had fought not just for victory, but for the chance to build something better. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just victorious, but enlightened. The stars stretched endlessly before them, filled not with threats to conquer or enemies to defeat, but with possibilities to explore. Together, they would forge a future worthy of every species' highest aspirations. The age of dominion was over. The age of harmony had begun.